The following program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.
Hi, this is Ken Gidge, and this is the Art of Politics. Usually, Mr. O'Brien, Representative O'Brien is here. He has been taking some time off, so I'm not getting really the second best. He might be the first best, and his name is Representative.
You want some help? Baldasaro.
All right.
I mean, I only sit behind you at the State House.
I know.
And every once in a while, I have to slap him in the, well, I have to touch him in the back of the head.
Yeah, I know.
Make sure he's alert.
Well, it's interesting because we have talked about this. It's almost even, Republicans and Democrats. We have the majority,
Yeah,
but
right.
still,
There's
so
a
it's mixed up.
Right.
So it's kind of interesting having you.
Well, we're fortunate because we have a good crowd of on us, the Republicans and Democrats. And
Yes.
I'm able to mentally torture you all, so it works out great. I'm having fun with it.
Oh, I can feel the back of the head, you know.
And I can tell when I say something that's a Republican thing, the eyes on me. What's he saying?
And everybody, and we have this new system, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, for voting, which is, we had the old way where you'd put the key in and then you would
right.
press. Well, they took all that out, and now there's no key. You just press
a button.
the button, it goes on. But now we've got new.
There's new software that goes with the program
and
and new
we have new
scoreboards.
boards up
Right.
there.
I'll help you out, yeah.
And then we have 30 seconds, and now there's this. It's to go for the. Oh, it's.
Now,
it was,
you know the funny thing about it, like your Obama website, we're having problems with this one too. So, you know, we're trying to work out the issues with the software.
Wait until we get going.
Yeah, that's right. So, you know, we can always get back right on that Medicaid expansion, but I'm sure you had some other stuff you wanted to talk about.
Before we get into that, I just would like to say a few words about Fred Fuller and the problems that they have had. I think this is really, really important that people have an understanding. When Fred Fuller Oil and Propane started out, he was always an extremely generous person. Always. There were many people who could not afford the bills, but he kept giving them fuel. I'm sure he went maybe months or days or weeks without a paycheck to help people out. He's been in business for close to 30 years. This man has never had a problem like that just took place. And what happened was on the coldest time of the year, somewhere along the line, there was a glitch. We don't know what it was. We're pretty sure it wasn't financial. It could have been internal. It could have been a family crisis. We just don't know. But now Fred Fuller is back. He's serving his customers. And you have to remember, a person who has helped people for 30 years, hey, this company needs a little bit of help, and if you've gone to another company, maybe you ought to think about going back to Fred Fuller. I don't know the man, I don't do business with him, but I have followed the company. Now, before the show we talked about it, and Representative Baldasaro had that problem.
Right. Well, I was down at 30 gallons, and I have Fred Fuller, and I was waiting and waiting. Then we try to get through to him for 2-3 days, couldn't. So my wife turned around, got nervous, thinking we were going to run out of fuel, called another company. And Fred Fuller has been great to us. Yeah. But the other company we called was actually 10 cents cheaper. And my brother, the same thing. He's on a regular. The trucks come in every couple of weeks or every 3 weeks for him and fills them up, chops them off. But he was getting down low or something. And
Do you have prepaid?
No, I don't do that. I take a gamble on the oil
Yeah.
and pay it is. But like I said, the company that we went to, because I'm a veteran, also had a veteran's discount.
Yeah.
And it saved us 10 cents per gallon. Being a conservative that don't have
10
deep
cents a
pockets
gallon,
like you
right.
Democrats,
Yeah, right.
you know, my wife chose to go with that company. Now, will I go back to Fred Fuller? Maybe.
Well, yeah, I think you could
You
go
know?
probably back to Fred Fuller and say, hey, look, I went to another company, I got 10 cents less a gallon. He
Right.
might match that. And if he matched that, I don't use oil, I use natural gas. So I'm just saying to you, please consider what this man has done for years and years and
Right.
years to help people. So he is sort of now out in the cold.
Right. And I don't know Fred Fuller. I've never met him either. But I
But
just
ask
know,
for that 30 cents,
Right.
that 10-cent discount.
I just know it's like staying your ground. You have to protect your family wherever you have the
Absolutely.
right to be. And that's why we had to make that decision there to ensure that, you know, my wife's kids didn't wake up in the morning freezing because my heater went out.
That's right. You're newly married, and
That's right,
and
I'm-
now's not the time to play games.
God sent me an angel.
Yeah,
So you're right.
I have met her. She's absolutely beautiful. For some reason, she's sane too.
That's right.
Is she on a mission to try to? Is she a Republican?
She's a Republican also. She lived in Ringe for 20-something years, and she was one of the John McCain campaign chairman over there in that area. And one thing led to another, and we love at first sight. And I believe, like I said, it was a miracle.
How can you not love her at first sight?
Well, I've never, 4 years, over 4 years being together, never a disagreement, an argument, nothing. We compliment each other. We're together all the time. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, occasionally one comes across a person. I'm very fortunate also.
I want to think that many men and women are happy in their marriage and found the right person. Every once in a while, you do. You know, there's a slip here and there. Two people don't get along. You move on, and I'm still friends with my ex-wife. You know, so we just weren't made for each other.
Yeah, these things do happen. One grows up, etc.
Right.
One more thing on the Fred Fuller thing, because I think this is really, really important, and there is a bill up. And by the way, I'm in Commerce, which is banking insurance, but we're also consumer affairs. Let's throw
Right.
another one in
Yeah,
there.
that's right.
So what they have, somebody brought in a bill, and a lot of people buy prepaid.
Yep.
Okay, and that means that you prepay and you get the oil or the gas at a particular price. You're locked into that price. A bill comes along and says, okay, what we want is all that prepaid money put into an escrow account, and they cannot use that money until the people get their oil.
Well, see, this is where I have a problem with, because what is government doing getting involved in these areas? You know, we had a company went bankrupt because of one reason or another. But the bottom line is, that's why we have a judicial system. That's why we have three parts, you know, government here to be able to handle this stuff. Government has no business getting in and telling companies how to run your business. We have to stop this.
Well, also, I think that's a good point, and I think when you point that out a great deal more than I do, but I think that's very, very good. But there's a part of this financially that one must understand. If a company goes out and buys a contract, they're also locked in at that price.
That's right.
They can't buy those contracts until the people prepay. Then they buy the contract. Now, to take this and to put this into escrow, this came into our committee, we had the Attorney General in there. They not only do not want to do the escrow, supposedly financially, they can't look at the escrow. Then it goes into banking, and banking says, look, we can't do it either.
Right.
So it has come down to the point where you can say whatever you want to say, but there is no way to check the escrow if nobody's there.
That's right.
There's no way to make sure that they are buying the contracts. You must trust who you're doing business with.
And look at the money in auditing that we would have to pay on the government side. You know, what is this, a way to get more jobs?
Right.
Government jobs?
Right. So what we have come to conclude but did not pass was the best thing for everyone is to stop prepaid.
Right.
Companies have come in and said, look, I got customers who want prepaid. I want to give it to them, But if you do this, I can't buy contracts.
Right.
I can't save them money if they feel comfortable of whatever I can get say the gallon of oil at. So I'm going to have to go out of business doing that. Not out of business, but out of the business of doing prepaid.
Right.
So that's come into our committee. We sort of voted that down. Now it's being
That's good.
thrown back in. And I'm just going, oh, come on.
I think we need to step out of that and let the people have their choice. Americans standing up and making a decision. I'd rather gamble and play the market and see and hope that the oil goes down. So far, I've been fortunate this season because, matter of fact, it just went down to $92 a barrel. I think from 100 or 99. So I think I'm doing pretty good, especially where I got it 10 cents cheaper. But some people are a little nervous. And they want it when the oil's low. They purchase it during the summer.
Correct.
And they buy so many gallons. It's a win-win for them.
But it's interesting that you know what what a barrel costs.
Mm-hmm.
If one was to do a contract and you could get it at 90, below 90, oh, grab it.
That's right.
Grab it. I mean, below $90 per barrel. And other interesting thing in this country, we have 100 years of natural gas. Also, we are now going to be pumping as much oil as Saudi Arabia.
Right.
We're going to be exporting oil.
Well,
this
not really.
country
We
is...
will. We will once we get rid of Obama and he lets the Keystone and he opens up these other areas for to be drilling and testing.
We don't even have to do that, and we're already at that point.
We're having problems. Obama.
When we start exporting oil, in which we're beginning to do, why, can I ask you, haven't we helped the oil companies out a lot?
Yeah, we have. There's subsidies that are there to help them out. But see, the problem we have here,
why aren't we
government
why are they
leased
sending
land.
it out of this country?
The government leased land, and that land that they won't even let them drill. They won't even give them permits. They want to drill in the ANWR or Alaska there, and they're saying, no, no, no. We have an opportunity with the Keystone Pipeline to bring in jobs, bring in oil.
Yeah, but the Keystone Pipeline is coming from where?
It's coming out of Canada. But Canadians are our friends. It's not like money going to Saudi or to all these other countries that have terrorists that want to kill us.
And from space, okay?
From space.
You would be able to see a line going directly through our country, which would be the Keystone Pipeline.
Right.
Is that what you want?
But there's already pipelines up there in Texas and other areas that are already going through.
Going right down the middle of New Hampshire?
Democrats, aren't you all supporting the Northern Pass? Those lines going right down all the way to our beautiful scenic tourist area up in the north? What's the difference? And we don't even benefit from that area.
Excuse me.
We're
from this area, right?
Right.
You and I.
Yeah.
We have the lines.
Yes, we do.
Okay. I'm sorry. I really am sorry. I think if we do it, they should accept it because there will be jobs, et cetera, coming in. Now, having said that,
hopefully competition to drop the price of oil.
Oil, electricity,
right.
Everything. I mean, here is a country with 35 million people called Canada, just 35 million people, and they have more energy through hydro, through gas, through shale. I mean, they're really rich.
Right. And New Hampshire does probably $1 billion and something in trade and export. And I actually had a tour of their ports. I had a tour of the border line, to take a look at the security for the borders. Yeah. And it was a nice trip. Matter of fact, we went, Dave Campbell, the duck man. I went with him, and about with Bill O'Brien. It was about 10 of us legislators went and did this here. And Canadians are our friends. I'd rather do business with them than do business with countries like Iran, Iraq, and these other countries there that want us dead. I've been in those countries.
Well, the Canadians are like our cousins.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes.
Come on. I mean, my mother. My mother is part English, part French. My father is completely English. Okay, so there is French blood in me, and Canadian. So guess what? These are our brothers and sisters. We're not arguing with them. But about that pipeline, that's really something when you think about it. If they could put it underground, if they could do lots of stuff, wires included.
Yeah, but you want to know something? The people in that area, if they vote in support of that pipeline and have no problems, why are me and you in this area here in New England concerned about what the people want there because of the taxes that they're going to get from the pipeline coming through on, you know, the property tax or wherever they line that pipe. That's a win-win for those communities that support it. If they don't support it, then you do like we said to the Northern Pass, go underground.
Yeah, the Northern Pass, most of that can't go underground, but I certainly...
Well, I disagree with you because what you can blow up certain areas and separate the rock and other stuff.
Excuse me, blow up certain
right.
areas. Here's a Republican.
That's right.
Let's blow up certain areas.
Well, when I say blow up, how do they expand 93?
When you said blow up means blow up.
See, I'm a retired Marine, so I have that mentality.
I know.
There's no doubt in my mind that we can trench that area through granite with certain dynamite.
Yeah, and you're the only Republican I know. Some Democrats will wake up in the morning and go, oh, like that, right?
I can see now the news there, front page there, the Democrats will say, Baldasaro wants to blow up northern New Hampshire.
You heard it.
That's right.
Baldasaro wakes up in the morning, he stretches, and he takes his gun and he shoots cans off the fence.
That's right. You know, I can see it now. I'm probably one of the most attacked state reps in the state, which I don't understand it.
What do you
Bill
mean?
O'Brien used to be, you know, him and I were neck and neck on being attacked all the time by your friends.
Which friend?
Your Democrat friends.
Which one?
The liberals. Many
Oh,
of them.
for God's sakes,
Many
attacked. What
Your
you guys
chairman.
did was awful.
Oh,
come on, even the
You know,
Republicans voted against you guys.
okay, that's why I'm still here on my fourth term. That's why Bill O'Brien's still here on his fourth or fifth term, or maybe more. What does that tell you?
It tells me that they got rid of everyone else and they kept the guys who want to blow up things with pipes on.
Hey, talking about blowing up, you missed the excitement at the House there with the assistant speaker, how she screwed up the whole thing
The
on a vote.
assistant?
What's her name? Your deputy speaker, our deputy speaker.
I don't know.
I don't even.
That's awful.
You should know it. I mean,
I know.
She's
I
one of your
should know.
Democrats.
Oh,
But anyways,
I'm sorry.
if you
I
can't,
do know the name. I'm sorry.
But anyways, some of us had a meeting out in the anteroom, which is, so everyone knows, is connected to the chambers.
Correct.
And there's the bill that came up on the charter school funding. And what happened is there was a vote, a roll call vote.
No,
Normal
explain what a roll
procedures.
call vote is.
A roll call vote is when somebody like myself stands up and calls for a roll call, saying that we want people accountable for their voting.
So
Then
many
10 other
people have to stand
10
up.
people have to stand up
And
and
then
then support you. Then it goes to a roll call.
We're in a roll call.
A roll
vote.
call, then what's supposed to happen, the Sergeant of Arms is supposed to go out to all the doors and yell out, roll call, and you have a minute or so to get back to the chambers.
And let me tell you something. There is 3 people who do that.
That's right.
And the first 3 months I was there, I would be standing and someone would go behind me, oh, go! Which it's really loud.
Well,
So
anyways, that didn't happen.
that didn't happen.
It didn't happen. So we're all in the back discussing over this charter school issue
Okay.
here. And the acting speaker went to a vote. And she said, this is a roll call vote, went right into the vote. Nobody bothered to go out and tell us. Republicans and Democrats were out there in different parts of it, you know, discussing issues. When we went in, I walked right down. She tried to sit me down. I refused to sit down, okay? And I was going down to the well to speak. But then a Democrat got up, who was with us out in the back, and went up there and made a motion to reconsider the vote. And they then...
And the
we end up-
Republicans won what they wanted.
We got what we wanted. Well, what happened is then we had to go after the speaker again because she refused to do a PI because the reconsider was passed, okay, on the vote, so we
Right.
can all get our vote in.
Right.
Then there's supposed to be a parliamentary inquiry, okay, on each, why you support it,
Exactly,
why you don't.
correct.
She wouldn't let us do it. Somebody had to go
What
down
do
to
you mean
Republican.
she wouldn't let you
She
do it?
refused. She said, we already did the parliamentary inquiry. So what happened, one of the our majority leader went down there.
Gene Chandler.
Gene Chandler, and then we talked to her and said she changed
He
her mind.
was the Speaker of the House.
He was the
for
speaker,
those people
right?
who don't know.
Saying that this is a new vote. The reconsideration already happened. You have to let us do a PI. Make a long story short, the PI, she finally changed her mind. They did the parliamentary inquiry, and then the vote won by another 15 votes. We overturned the committee report of ITL, killing the bill. So then the charter school funding bill passed the House. I mean, I don't understand, why do Democrats don't want charter schools? Not all, but some of them. Why?
Well,
I don't understand.
I don't agree with you. I think everybody wants charter schools. I think it's how they're funded. And not only that, is that what you guys.
But why would the
I know,
Democrats
but
vote
what
against it
what
then?
you guys forget is you want to give everyone so much money if they want to go to another school. You want to give them a check, or you want to make sure that if they wish to go to this school and go to that school, if they want to go to a private school and go to private school, the state will pay these people
Right.
as if a taxpayer was paying for a student, who would go to one school instead of moving over. The problem is that once you start doing this, you cannot protect the public schools.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you take a look at the public schools, tell me why are charter schools, okay, I think it's about $5,000 education versus public schools. Now I'm talking per kid. Per public schools, 13 to 15,000 per kid. Why are charter schools scoring higher on tests? What are they doing right for less money than our public schools?
Well, I'll tell you what. I interviewed somebody last night who wrote a book called Cognitive Yoga, and it's a book that she was in charter schools for like, I think, 12 years. She was also in the public schools. And there's something called mindfulness, coming a way of teaching, a different way of teaching, going right across the world. So that might be an individual who has a book who you might want to say, hey, what's this? Why are people against charter schools?
Right.
What's the importance of it? And she can explain it to you. It was quite amazing. It was a great half hour last night.
You had a Democrat rep, which I can't even, Jesus, I'm bad with names. But anyways, she went to the floor because she missed the vote in the committee. She said it would have never been killed in committee if she was there.
What?
And she talked about the Manchester Charter School, where they have 20% of kids' juvenile issues out of the court system, everything in this charter school. They're doing so much better than in their testing and everything that goes along with than they did in the public school. Public school is one size fits all. It's not. It shouldn't be. You don't have the unions in the charter schools.
Oh, here we
Okay,
go with
that's
the
right.
unions again.
So what
Here
I'm
we
trying
go
to,
with the
and I'm
unions
trying to
again.
figure this out. What are they doing right?
God.
Homeschoolers. What are they doing right?
no,
Where the
no.
kids are scoring higher on the test versus public
Well,
schools.
first of all, there is a lot of controversy with home teaching and kids scoring higher. The fact is that there's a great push now against that. That they're not
What, they
taking
don't want the kids scoring
no,
higher?
not giving basically the same test, not putting them in a particular place where a test is given instead of many times given at home or given at.
They're taking the same test.
Well,
They're going to the, some of them are going to the schools and taking them.
That's the important
Don't make
thing.
me get facts again on you.
Oh my
okay?
God! Oh God! Here we go.
Don't make me have to pull the facts out.
Here
on you.
we go. I know facts.
Yeah.
But
They're taking the same
facts don't
test.
mean anything.
But they're required to take the same test, homeschoolers, as the kids in public schools. And let's go to the SATs. Why are homeschoolers in charter schools scoring higher on SATs? You see the studies that are out there.
Well, look, we all agree that there must be changes, okay? I had a bill, a teacher's protection bill, okay? What it was happening with the teachers were, and I think that you voted, I think you voted for it.
I supported it, that's right, yeah.
What would happen, a teacher, there's a problem in a classroom
Right.
that the kids get out of hand. The administration are telling the teachers not to do anything, but to contact the office.
Right.
Now, if you saw a kid getting beaten up, what would you do?
I would break it up.
Of course you would.
Right.
Now, if there was any problem, such as one kid wants to sue or something like, no one ever, very rarely do
Right.
they sue. Matter of fact, schools win 92% of the lawsuits. Which
I didn't even know you sponsored that bill. Did Bill O'Brien help you with that?
No.
No, you did that all on your own?
I did. Well, I had.
It was a good bill.
It was a
I
good
thought
bill.
it was a good protection bill for
which
teachers.
it killed in the Senate
Oh, see,
twice, 3 times. So I'm going back at it with another
Are you? Oh,
teacher's
good.
protection
Yeah, I
bill.
think that's an awesome bill. It's a shame the
Well,
Senate.
but there's the example I'm trying to give to you is that you're right about charter schools. People, you have more freedom. You turn around and say, oh, no, it's the unions. Well, you know it's the unions who've gone in and said to the school people, you can't say this to a teacher. He or she cannot break up a fight. You cannot say
Right.
this to them.
It's a shame.
Teachers have got fired. So here's the union, the teachers and the administrators getting together and agreeing upon something. The House paid it,
Right.
passed it 3 times.
right.
McGuire was the one who founded it. I'm basically the guy who
Who pushed it,
who
right.
did most of it, but it was McGuire, who is a Republican who
Well,
started.
you know, it's like the Common Core. Didn't Nashua, are they looking to get out of Common Core? Because Alton and Manchester already voted not to support that. I co-sponsored a bill there to get us out of Common Core, the whole state.
Explain what that
But
is.
Common Core is a new system put in by the Governors Association and President Obama. And basically it's an unfunded mandate on the school systems. It's also a system where it invades the privacy of the children. There's
Well, give
no,
an example. I mean, you're making a blanket statement.
well, I'm making a statement on basically on it's going after the privacy of individual students. They're on tracking them throughout their years, their history, everything, where they come from, the whole works. The subject matters there are taking away the Americanism. They're discussing.
Well, what do you mean they're taking away the
Well,
Americanism?
you know,
Come on.
without me having my computer here where I can show some of the questions and everything that are being asked that the kids got to be taken there, it's unsat. Some of the classes there that we have in New Hampshire where we have the opt-out, they're sexual in nature. There's, I mean, there's a lot of stuff in there that it really has no business.
Well, it's teaching the birds and the bees to the kids. A lot of people, parents like yourself, don't want it.
Well, the thing is,
having said that,
because
guess
the
what? There are a
schools-
lot of parents who don't want to talk about it.
The school should be focusing on adequacy, reading, writing, art, you know, arithmetic.
Going
you
out
know,
in the
that's what
world
they
and
need to
having
be
some
focused.
knowledge about the
Right.
birds and the bees is also very important.
Well, the
and
thing is,
safe. They teach you
If
a lot
a
about
parent
safety.
does not want the school teaching this stuff, that's their choice.
No, their students not teach it. I think the schools to teach it.
Well, no, if the parents don't want the schools to teach it, that's their prerogative to get their
But
student
the
out of that.
majority of the parents do. It's always the
Well,
minority.
I have to disagree with you.
It's always the minority that changes everything.
It depends. Now, if you're in maybe like Nashua, Nashua got more Democrat reps, right? So I imagine they're a Democrat town.
Look,
City?
I was, I think, one of 4 representatives out of 20 plus.
Right.
Now there's only one Republican Democrat, Republican,
Right.
excuse me.
But of
We're
course,
all Democrats.
I haven't figured out if you're a Democrat yet or a Republican. Because
Why would you say that?
Because you seem to get picked on because you vote your conscience. You don't vote with your party all the time. You're probably there about 90% maybe. If I was a guessing man, seeing I look over your shoulder.
Yeah, he
So-
could see what I'm.
And I seen what happened to you the day when you gave me your word when I was in a committee there that day, and you said if we did an amendment a certain way, you'd support it.
Yes.
We did the amendment, and you voted for it, and your other Democrats
And do
really hated
you know what happened to me? It was probably one of the most awful thing that you can do. Now, there's only 4 Democrats, okay? I voted for the Republicans, and this was in the committee, all right?
You voted your conscience.
I,
not for the
well,
Republicans.
yeah, how do we make more
Right.
money in
That's right.
selling liquor?
Yes.
All right. The President of the United States comes to the city. There's only 4 Democrats, okay? 4 Democrats. I was not invited.
Right.
I talked to a Republican who said he had an invitation.
Wow.
And I thought to myself, is that how you punish somebody?
That's
I mean,
a
I would
shame.
have liked to have seen the president. I
Well-
mean, did you go to the White House?
No, not yet. I'm waiting for the date. It's going to be sometime in February. I'll be going.
Well, we have only a couple minutes left, but
Mm-hmm.
we shall probably come back and talk about you going to the White House, and I'm not going to the White House.
We can also talk about me possibly running for U.S. Senate.
Who?
Me. Did you know that? I think we talked about it in
Who
another
are
show.
you talking to?
Yeah, I'm talking to you. That's
You?
right.
You're running?
I may. I'm looking at it right now and exploring whether I'm going to take on Jean Shaheen. What she's done for the
Oh,
state of
my
New Hampshire and taking
God.
food off people's table, quality of life.
Here we go.
What she's done to the veterans.
go.
She's voting for
What do you
budget.
mean, how are they done to the veterans?
That's right.
She's for the veterans.
That's a bunch of BS. She's
I'll-
come on, will
I'll
ya?
tell you what. We are going to be back next week, but we're going to have to
Right.
close this down. Do you have a website?
Call me at 425-6997, and I'll tell you how she spent $45 billion more, and I'll tell you how she cut COLA for disabled veteran retirees.
Oh, don't believe him. Okay,
and my
what else? Are
website
you
is
on-
www.albaldasaro.com.
And you are on Facebook
And I'm on Facebook, and I'm from Londonderry.
from Londonderry. Okay, and my name is Ken Gidge, and I'm also on Facebook. So get on Facebook and come over and greet us, say hi to us.
And we're friends on Facebook.
Well, yeah, to a degree.
That's right. I do claim
We
'em.
haven't beaten each other.
That's right.
Also, you get me at phone 603-864-9332. I also have a website called Gidge World, which happens to be an art website. And if you go to Gidge 3D, you will see that we're #1 on Google.
Do you sell art?
Yeah, I do.
Buy some of his art. We need to get him a new coat. You know, get him a tie.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you. See you next week.
The preceding program was provided by an independent producer solely responsible for its content. The opinions expressed do not necessarily represent the views of this station, its staff, board of directors, or underwriters.